So we're going to start the way we always start things like this.
Okay.
Who is your favourite Star Trek character?
The barrel that takes out Worf. Put the clip in. Jonathan Frakes is an actor known for a singular role, that of Commander T. Riker from Star Trek The Next Generation. Luckily for Frakes, the character he will now be forever synonymous with is a space-cruising, alien puss-crushing slab of man with a beard so legendary they literally rewrote the entire show just to justify it.
Do you reckon Wesley would have been a more popular character if his name was in fact Puss Crusher?
What, Puss Crusher now?
Because he's Wesley Crusher, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he could be Puss Crusher.
Have you ever seen the thing that he keeps telling people on Twitter to stop telling to shut up Wesley? And Patrick Stewart tweeted at him saying, shut up Wesley. Shut up Wesley!
Okay, so the beard. Explain.
Okay, so for anyone who's not seen Star Trek The Next Generation, Jonathan Frakes, as I mentioned, plays a character called William Riker, and in the first season of that show, he plays a clean-shaven, but still somewhat competent, crusher of alien trim. As an aside, how much Star Trek The Next Generation have you actually watched?
Bits and pieces, but mostly just for researching videos.
So that means you're not aware of, like, the Commander T. Riker step then, are you?
No.
Do you like the Picard Maneuver, which you spoke about in the video before, which is Captain Picard readjusting his uniform when he stands up? For some reason, Jonathan Frakes, in almost every scene he's in, just puts his leg up like that. All the time. He just puts his leg up, like so. And there's one way, it's like he stands up out of a chair, and he stands up backwards over the chair like this. And someone's put together like a gallery of all the times Riker puts his knee up. And there's even one where he's knocked out on the floor and he still has his knee up. Because he just, like, even when he's like commanding people on the bridge, he just goes up and goes, all right, what are we doing, Captain? Right, forward. And he's just got his just knob right there, just strangled in Leica in someone's grill, and he don't give a fuck.
That's the point, isn't it? He's presenting it to everyone.
It's just the area of
The area of Riker. Talking of manoeuvres in Star Trek,
Yes.
that always just reminds me of The Epic Maneuver with Geordie.
Oh man, put the clippings, that thing's great. I'm a big fan of stuff like, the Riker step, because I love the idea of actors doing stuff in a cool way when they're not supposed to. And like the best person for that is obviously Jackie Chan in the film, I forget which one, I think it's Police Story or something like that, where he's eating noodles. And like it's just a scene of him eating noodles, but Jackie Chan insisted on eating the noodles with a pencil that he kicks across the desk and then catches and eats the noodles with it. And it took him like 14 takes to get it right. Because he insisted on doing it in a cool way like that. So he basically becomes Dante from Devil May Cry 3 when he answers the phone. Right, put the clip in of him doing that where he kicks the chair over and slams his foot on the desk to catch the phone. Jackie Chan does that in real life in that film, and it's fucking brilliant. And it all goes back to a quote I've said from Jackie Chan before, where he had to walk through a gate for a scene. And he said to the director, no one's going to pay money to see Jackie Chan walk through a gate. And he insisted on doing a backflip over it or something, just because he could.
That sounds like Revolver Ocelot levels of showing off.
Oh my god, like the revolver juggling scene in Metal Gear Solid 3. Like, there's a guy on YouTube somewhere who did that in real life, like to show that it could be done. He does the full Ocelot spinning routine and juggles the guns. It's like, oh my god, would you even mess with the guy who does that? Because like Snake says to him, like, oh yeah, there's no tactical advantage to doing that. And then later in that game, you see him fending off bees with it. It's like, there's no tactical advantage to spinning revolvers, is there? He just slaps 1,000 bees out of the air. He's just fighting off like infinite bee wave, like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. No tactical advantage, eh, Snake? Can you spin revolvers fast enough to slap bees out of the air? I think not. As you see, like, Snake there with his knife, waving it around trying to fight bees off, and Revolver Ocelot is walking backwards. No tactical advantage, eh, Snake? Get fucked.
What would you say is more impressive? A man who can shoot bees out of the air, or a man who can stab them out of the air?
But he doesn't stab anybody because he jumps down that big hole to escape them, doesn't he?
I'm not saying he does, but I'm saying what do you think is more impressive?
Oh, it'd be more impressive if Mr. Miyagi was in there, like, doing his chopstick thing.
What every single bee?
Every single bit, catches them all, then puts them on the ground.
I thought the point of that was Mr. Miyagi couldn't do it, and Daniel-san did it first. So why does Miyagi always get the credit?
Because Mr. Miyagi's awesome. Have you not seen like Miyagi-style karate? Because I always like the idea of Mr. Miyagi just Wang from Tekken 2. Just like some old-ass man, because his style of karate is so shit. It's just him slowly walking forward while stomping. It's just stomp-level karate.
That's like Hayahachi in Tekken 2 has that move where he does the stomp.
Oh
and I
my
just want
god,
to walk towards
fucking God's hammer. That move's amazing. Well, that's a good move, but the best move in Tekken is the Hunting Hawk. The move so awesome, they retroactively gave it to every other character in the game. And the Hunting Hawk, if people don't know, is like, I think Harang does it in Tekken 3, where it's like he jumps up and does 3 kicks, and it carries you through the air. and it ends with like a hook kick that sends you straight into the ground. And they gave that to every other character, including Kuma, when it's called Hunting Bear. Because Kuma can do the hunting horse, his own variation of it.
People often ask us why we cut so much out of these videos.
It's because
when you realise we're talking about Tekken now and the video's about Star Trek.
Tekken's awesome. I love Kuma. You seen him in like the newest Tekken?
No.
Kuma becomes a member of the Tekken Force and he wears his own Tekken Force
What's the Tekken
armour.
Force?
He's Heihachi's personal army.
I mean, I don't know anything about the story in
The
inverted
Tekken
commas
Force.
of Tekken.
It's the army that Heihachi has, and Kuma leads it, and he wears his own Tekken Force outfit, complete with a helmet. So it's just a bear wearing armour, and he's got a move in it where he slaps you with a salmon. So we call it the salmon slap.
An armoured bear with a salmon slap.
That's an enemy, that. That's a fucking opponent right there. You join a martial arts opponent, fight this bear with a salmon, wearing full combat gear.
Now you have to ask who would win. The armoured bear with a salmon slap or Revolver Ocelot with his with his spinning revolver.
It's so... But I just love that that smash cut, though, of like, they offer no tactical advantage. Those spins don't do anything. He's just fending off bees with it. And you see Snake like, that would have been quite effective. I love that, though. That fight's amazing because you can do so much shit to, like, fuck with him. And my favourite's shooting down the hornet's nest near him and he tries to fend off the bees. Or you can shoot his hat off and when he goes to get his hat, throw a grenade at him.
Is that the one as well where if you kill him, it tells you you've created a time paradox?
Yeah, after you've knocked him out. So what you can do, you can stab him in the leg once, which is what I always do. I lie down, stab him.
We've strayed too far from the beard.
We have, haven't we? So we should talk more about it. And like, obviously, Riker not having a beard in the first season of Star Trek Next Generation is in keeping with the generally established lore of the Star Trek universe that beards aren't all that common amongst human males. So I think virtually every human male in that show, besides Riker in season 2 onwards, is clean shaven. Which makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, given all the cool shit that must exist in the future. Like, can you imagine how clean and close of a shave an alien future racer would give you? One of the things I love about Star Trek universe is like the little background details that you don't notice. Like they always drink synthahol, which is synthetic alcohol, which is basically alcohol that doesn't get you as drunk as like regular alcohol does. So alcohol without the hangover, which is why every single episode you see people in the bar drinking, because they know they can get absolutely smashed and not get drunk. Or it was like an episode where like Deanna Troi, she goes, oh, I want a chocolate cake, but I don't want any of that fake chocolate shit you make that's low in calories. I want a real chocolate cake. Which means they can make super unhealthy tasting food that's actually good for you. Because obviously it's just created out of nothing.
Well, we're not that far off that kind of thing now, are we? They can make artificial food that tastes
we are, like, in our lifetime, we will see the pill, which is basically just eat this and it's all your calories and nutrients and vitamins for the rest of the day.
Well, I mean, they already have meal replacement shakes. That's essentially like the precursor to that.
We're one step away from that. Just take this pill, that's all your shit for the day, eat whatever you want now.
So when did the beard first appear?
In season 2.
And what changed between seasons 1 and 2 to make him grow that beard?
Not much, because like Frakes has always said, I don't really like shaving, and when I'm not working, I'll not shave, I'll just grow out a beard. And between season 1 and season 2 of Star Trek, there was a writer's strike, which like, obviously put the show on hiatus, and during that hiatus, Frakes grew out his beard, and ended up walking in for rehearsals for season 2, with a beard I think even Kratos from God of War would compliment in between elbow-dropping hydras. Because holy shit, can Frakes grow a sick-ass beard. And do you know who else agreed, Brad, that the beard looked awesome? Gene fucking Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, who saw Frakes with the beard during rehearsals for season 2 and went, you are not shaving that off. You have got the look of a wizened sea captain or some shit. That's glorious. You're keeping it.
So the creator of Star Trek himself stepped in and saved the beard.
Yeah, because obviously Frakes himself was under the impression that when filming began on season 2, he'd have to shave it off, obviously, so he'd look like he did in season 1. But Roddenberry went, no, you can keep it. The only proviso is you need to like let the makeup department sculpt it to make you look more like a sea captain or some shit. My favourite part about this story, though, is that Roddenberry specifically called out the fact that Frakes with a beard looked like a sea captain. So the idea of like Star Trek is that they're like exploring new worlds, and like obviously that's just an extension of like, back in the day with explorers on a ship. It's an extension of that idea, basically. And the fact that he specifically wanted, the makeup crew to sculpt his beard to make him look more nautical. And I think we can agree that if you put a picture of Riker behind me and Photoshop a sea captain's hat on his head, I can see him being on the front of a box of bird's eye fish fingers, can you? In fact, put his face face with a sea captain helmet on a box of bird's eye fish fingers, and I bet he don't look that much out of place, does it? He does look like a sea captain. He looks like he could be commanding a ship back in like the olden days. And that's the idea behind it. It's like Roddenberry went, why did we not know this guy can grow such a sick ass beard? It's staying.
Riker's fish fingers.
Yeah, I'd buy Riker's fish fingers. I would buy more fish fingers if they had Riker on them in a sea captain's hat.
There's definitely the comment section buzzing right now with a comment about Riker's fish fingers.
Fishy fingers, more like. His fishy alien fingers.
Let's not dive into that well.
Sit in people's heads. So as a direct result of Roddenberry's intervention on his behalf, Frakes was allowed to keep the beard for season 2. On the proviso that, as noted, he allowed the makeup department to sculpt it to make it look more nautical and authoritative. And you know what the best part about Riker growing a beard is?
What?
It is generally agreed by critics and fans that the beard coincides with a general uptick in the quality of the writing and acting on the show itself, leading to the coining of the term growing the beard.
I'm assuming that's the antithesis of jumping the shark.
Yes, if people don't know, jumping the shark is like a trope that's used to describe the exact moment a show's quality just declines downwards. Like after the scene in Happy Days where Fonzie jumps over a shark. And like there's other examples you can use, like the Simpsons one that a lot of people use is the episode of the Arm and Tanzarian episode, where Principal Skinner is revealed to not be Principal Skinner. It's basically a stupid moment that like completely draws you out of the show and signals its a declining quality. Growing the beard is the exact opposite of that, and it's a moment you can pinpoint where the show's quality improves. And because obviously the only real difference between season 1 and season 2 is that Riker has a beard, that is now the symbol of just the show becoming awesome. Do you know what my favourite part is?
What?
Jonathan Frakes himself is aware of the trope and is proud of it.
I would be.
Someone asked him at a fan convention for Star Trek, so, are you aware of the term growing the beard? He went, yeah. What do you think about it? I love it. It's great that my beard is now like a signifier for just a show being awesome. That's great. The term just growing the beard, so yeah, that's when a show really comes into its own. The thing is though, if Frakes had shaved that beard off, the term growing the beard might very well have been hiring the Pratt. Because I'd say like Parks and Recreation got much better when they hired Chris Pratt full time. So it could have been hiring the Pratt. And that'd have been
the Pratt.
Well, I think we can all agree like Parks and Rec gets way better when they got Chris Pratt in full time. When they realised, oh my god, this guy's amazing, to put him in every episode.
When do you reckon our hiring the Pratt moment was?
Oh, it's the one where we got drunk talking about gazelles. No, it is. It's drinking the booze for us. The Fact Fiend the growing the beard moment for Fact Fiend is the moment we decided, fuck it, let's just get drunk for this one episode and see where it goes. That's the growing the beard moment for us. Unless, I'm guessing fans might have a different idea. So yeah, fans of the show, when is your growing the beard moment for this? I'm quite curious to think when people thought the quality of the show like noticeably improved, or if it never has. We haven't had it yet. We still suck. We're still on a downward decline. You know what? We jumped the shark in the first episode. It's been declining ever since. So I'm guessing there's some people like, oh yeah, these episodes suck now. They used to be so good back in the day. Despite the fact nothing has changed whatsoever, to the point where we still keep the same fucking green screen.
Do you know what I realised as well?
What?
At some point when we were making these videos, I went from being shaven to having a beard. So we had a growing a beard moment.
Just nobody fucking saw it. As awesome as the show became after Riker grew a beard, it did cause a minor plot hole in the fact that there is no explanation for why Commander Riker, between episodes, seemingly out of nowhere, grows a beard.
You said earlier that it's not particularly common for anyone in that universe to actually have a beard.
No, I think the most famous example is like alternate universe evil Spock, who has the goatee. Which has now become like, is another thing Star Trek style, like, which is a trope for evil. It's just growing the evil goatee. Because now goatees are associated with evil, unless you're Tony Stark.
Well, that's what that South Park episode got it from.
Yeah.
The alternate universe, everyone just had a goatee.
Everyone has a goatee and that's why they're evil. That's like another thing Star Trek. But like, yeah, there's not many examples of facial hair in that universe. So as awesome as Riker having one is, it is a minor plot hole that he randomly grows one and no one ever comments on it. Because can you think of any show that you've watched where a character undergoes a transformation that dramatic where it isn't commented upon? The example that springs to mind for that for me is The Big Bang Theory, because even now, like in the 14th season, whatever the fuck it is, all the characters still dress exactly the fucking same. Like Leonard still wears like a jacket and a shirt in every episode. Sheldon still wears like a nerdy t-shirt with a long sleeve shirt underneath the sleeves rolled up. Howard still wears those fucking dumb turtlenecks and a big Batman belt buckle. And just think like, they're 15 years older and they're still wearing the same shit they wore 15 years ago. Because the idea is you have to keep the characters the same. Like, look at, 2.5 Men, where Charlie Sheen wears a bowling shirt in every episode.
Yeah.
Every single one, regardless of context. It's like TV shows, for the most part, just don't change the appearance of a character that much without ever commenting on it. I think the closest you get is when they replace actors, and they have to acknowledge it in a tongue-in-cheek way. And there's some good examples, like I think The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and they changed the woman who played Aunt Viv. Yeah. I think Jazz in one episode says, so who's playing the mum in this season? At the start of one episode. Or My Wife and Kids, where they replaced the daughter. And I think Damon Wayans, who plays the dad, goes to her and goes, oh, you look like an entirely different person in the first scene she's in. But other than that, it's like that wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the audience. Can you think of, I don't think of any show where a character's appearance changes as dramatically as Riker's does. Because bearing in mind, no one else in the show changed the way they look. And it's not commented on, or a plot point at least.
Every single example I can think of is always referenced by the characters.
And usually, by the end of the episode, the change reverts to normal.
Or it's there for a few episodes, like Chandler and his goatee.
Yeah.
They said he looked like Satan. Eventually, he shaved it off.
And that's like, what, 1-2 episodes long?
Yeah, and in the most recent season of Supernatural, Sam has a beard, and they make fun of him, and after about 5 or 6 episodes, the beard's gone, and they comment on the beard being gone.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They never acknowledge the fact that Riker has a beard. Ever! And that's the thing, they never reference it in Star Trek at all. Riker walks in one episode with a full beard, and no one notices or comments on it. It's ridiculous.
I like to think he always had that beard, but we just weren't seeing it.
We weren't worthy.
We weren't worthy of the beard. But you said at the start they changed the show in order to include the beard.
Yes, because obviously they never referenced the beard directly in Season 2, but in Season 7, a full 5 years later, someone actually asked Riker, dude, what's the deal with the beard? And he explains to them, I was just sick of people saying I look really young. He then goes on to note that growing a beard is an ancient earthen custom, ancient being the operative word in that sentence, and it was historically seen as a symbol of like masculinity and virility, something he didn't exactly exude in the first season of the show.
So he described the beard as being an ancient custom.
Yeah, and that's the retcon the writers included to explain why no one else but Riker has a beard, because it's not really a thing anyone's aware of anymore. Apparently men in that universe aren't aware of the fact if you just let your hair grow, you grow a beard. But yeah, like the writers, that's, oh shit. It's like, we know it's 5 years later, we know it's like 5 full seasons after the fact it's been introduced, but we need to explain why Riker and only Riker has a beard. So I think it's also he shaves it off, then he grows it back in the next episode. Yeah, it's an ancient earthen custom nobody really follows anymore, and that's why only Riker has it, because he's interested in history.
If only the writers of Justice League had thought of including an explanation like that.
The thing to remember though is that this explanation was given in Season 7 of the show, a full 5 seasons after the beard made its debut.
So it's 5 seasons later, and the beard has already become a symbol of the show getting better.
Yes.
And yet they felt the need to justify it.
Because even though nobody gave all that much of a shit about where the beard came from, the writers couldn't leave well enough alone and had to explain its origins. Which makes me laugh because it means in the Star Trek universe, even beards get a backstory. Since it's the topic of today's video, Brad, what's your favourite example of a writer explaining something in a story that didn't need explaining but felt they had to anyway?
It's got to be the vulnerability of the Death Star that they completely... The entire prequel film focused on how it was intentional because the fans made fun of it.
He intentionally included a single weakness in the Death Star that would like to be destroyed in one fucking bullet. That's a hell of a thing to get past like Darth Vader and Palpatine, isn't it? One of my favourite examples of it is in Dragon Ball, and it's the 2 questions of, why don't Saiyans age, why doesn't their hair change? And Vegeta explains in like 2 separate episodes, 1, Saiyans are a warrior race, they stay in their prime for much longer, so they can fight longer, and 2, a Saiyan's hair never changes from the day they're born. Which means that Broly and Raditz were born with that giant ass head of hair on the day. I feel sorry for Goku's mum with that shit.
Just like a birth to a pineapple.
So that's the explanation for why Goku never gets a haircut. Yeah. Is the fact that a Saiyan's hair never changes from the day he's born. Oh, it's just the idea that, but in one episode they do reveal that Saiyans do grow beards, but just very, very slowly. Because Vegeta and Goku go in the hyperbolic time shaver in Dragon Ball Super and come out with full beards. Now I want to know, what would happen if they went Super Saiyan? Like if they went Super Saiyan, would the beards get longer? We never find out.
Is that what happened to Riker?
Maybe.
Did he go in a hyperbolic chamber and grow a beard?
He went to the hyperbolic time chamber with Worf, and he was just fighting with like, the back left, whatever it's called, for like 40 years to gain all that battle experience, become a hardened, wizened warrior.
Oh, we shit on Harry Potter a lot for the retcon.
Oh my god, there's so many bad ones. Have you seen the newest one?
What's the newest one?
Spoilers for like Crimes of Grindelwald. McGonagall's in it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
8 years, when she's supposed to be 8 years old canonically. And she's a fully grown woman.
If they got, I'm assuming they got a younger actress in. It's not just, Maggie Smith.
Yeah, it's when canonically she's supposed to be 8 fucking years old. Some shit like, it's before she's, I don't know. But she's in it, and it's like, maybe it's not McGonagall. Maybe it's a mum. It's like, no, because remember, McGonagall's married. So it's not McGonagall, it's McGonagall's husband's mum. So, what a cameo! We've got McGonagall's husband's mum. Oh man, like, she's the worst for retconning shit, isn't she?
McGonagall's married?
Yeah, she makes reference to her husband. Oh. Which means, like, yeah, she's supposed to be married, so which means that it's not McGonagall, it's McGonagall's husband's mum. So why put her in? A character we never see. Oh, she's so bad for doing that shit.
We say that, but the one I was going to mention is obviously stepping a little bit away from Harry Potter. Let's get to Twilight.
Oh, God.
The fact that in the first Twilight book, Edward's like, I can't read Bella's mind. And you find out, apparently, in like the fourth one, that the reason is because she has the power as a vampire, that no one's powers work on her. It's like, well, she wasn't a fucking vampire back then. It's just, you clearly, the writer was like, oh, we want Edward to be able to read minds. We don't want him to read her mind.
Because she's special.
Weird. Yeah.
Just the idea of answering a question no one asked and inadvertently ruining the entire fucking series. Like the Star Wars one, of like, it doesn't matter that it was a mistake. Like, the idea is it's symbolic of, like, you know, the arrogance of the Empire. That this tiny mistake, they overlooked it thinking, like, you know, their power was absolute. It's symbolic of the fact that there is always, like, a chink in someone's armour, regardless of how strong you think they are. It's like, no, actually, it was a secret rebel plan all along.
Well, it was the same with the Solo one. Like, every one of the prequel movies is basically just going to be callback. I think Honest Trailer said it was callback the movie. Because answering questions like, where did he get his jacket from?
No one gives a fuck.
Where did he get his gun from? What about those weird things hanging from the Millennium Falcon? We need to know the origin of them.
Well, the one that gets me is that Princess Leia is in Rogue One, when it goes directly into the start of like A New Hope. But that means, though, that when she's talking to Darth Vader, she's so clearly talking out of her ass. I'm on a diplomatic mission. You know, 10 minutes earlier, Darth Vader was cutting down rebel soldiers, and he saw a pod go to her ship. Like, he saw it with his own fucking eyes. He witnessed it happen. And the idea that completely ruins that movie, because it means Princess Leia knows she's lying. And we know Darth Vader can tell when people are lying, because he's got the Force.
But she also has the Force.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she has the amazing power of
flying
through
space.
Never stop.
Never fucking stop.